My name's Zachary Steele. I'm the Professor of Trauma and Mental Health based at Richmond Hospital, University of New South Wales and the Black Dog Institute. A psychologist is trained in the way in which humans function, so they understand normal functioning as well as the things that can go wrong and the kind of traps that we can fall into. And they bring a huge science of psychological science of treatments that have been found to be effective to help people recover, and they've got talking treatments that address core traps that we can fall into that create psychological conditions. When you book to see a psychologist, there's nothing that you need to do. Some psychologists might send you some questionnaires and things like that before. That's just to help to give them a picture of some of the problems that you're experiencing. It's always a nervous time meeting somebody new. They're very experienced. They'll help you, walk you through the process. So all you need to book, if you need to do anything in advance, they'll let you know. Sometimes it's worth just working out with them what are their fees, how's all that going to work. So that's worth doing in advance, just so you don't get any shocks afterwards. Often the first appointment will just be the psychologist talking to you about what brought you there today, what are your core problems, and they'll really try to get an understanding of what that is and some of the symptoms, but also they'll ask about the events and the experiences you have that brought you into there. During your first appointment, almost always the focus will be on what have been the problems that have brought you there today. It'll just be a conversation between you and them, and they're trying to understand what you've been experiencing, how it's been affecting you. And then either on the first session or the time after that, they'll try to present their understanding of what the problem is and what their recommendations are for treatment, and then hopefully they'll be able to offer you a treatment plan. The treatment duration with a psychologist will really depend on what condition you have. If it's a very circumscribed condition, then often treatment might just be 10 to 12 sessions, but if it's a more severe condition, there might be more treatment sessions provided. So what you want from a psychologist is somebody who's going to collaborate with you in identifying how you can recover from the problems that have brought you there today. They should just be there working with you as a team.
My name is Craig Sample. I'm a former police detective in the New South Wales Police Force. 25-year career I had in the police force. I was medically retired about 6 years ago as a result of post-traumatic stress disorder and also major depressive disorder. When I went and saw my psychologist over the period of time that I was being treated, I learnt a lot of coping strategies, good positive coping strategies and wellbeing strategies, mainly built around behaviour. Things like cognitive behaviour therapy, which is all about learning to challenge negative thinking. I learnt meditation and mindfulness techniques, all about trying to connect into the moment and give your mind a bit of time out. They were really, really important techniques. And that first appointment probably didn't go as well as what I would hope now looking back in hindsight. It was, I didn't really feel like I was going to have a really good connection with a psychologist I went and saw, so I didn't go back after that one. And looking back, if I was to say that I have a regret, it's actually not going back and maybe seeing other psychologists until I found one that was a good fit for me. I knew that my recovery game plan was working basically when I got to the point where I was simply just having more good days and bad days. The three main things that helped with my recovery first started with acceptance. Okay, so it was at the point where I stopped fighting the diagnosis that I'd been given, and I came to understand it, accept it a little bit more, and I worked with those symptoms rather than trying to fight them a little bit more. That was really big. So you've got to accept your situation before you can move forward from it. The second thing for me was actually having a goal-orientated recovery game plan. Okay, and that was really, really important. And I made sure that those goals were really achievable. Okay, so that's the second thing. And the third thing really comes down to commitment to action.
The key message is don't give up. Don't turn to negative coping strategies. They're really easy and they're attractive to turn to. You've got to work at it. It's not going to happen to you by magic. You've got to put the work in. You need a good treatment team, people that you trust and people that are pointing you in the right direction with evidence-based treatments. And then work at the recovery. You're going to get some setbacks. Everybody does. That's okay. It's about putting the time in, doing the kind of strategies that people are encouraging you to do to get better, trying to be active, trying to do the treatments. That's the key to getting better.